If you've ever checked your bank account the day before payday and felt your stomach drop, this video is for you. I know that feeling. I lived it for years. Every month felt like a race to the finish line. Every unexpected expense felt like a crisis, and every payday brought temporary relief that evaporated almost immediately. And here's what nobody told me when I was stuck in that cycle. The problem was not that I did not make enough money. The problem was that I had not learned how to manage what I already had. Today, I'm going to show you 3 steps on how to break that paycheck to paycheck cycle, starting with the most important shift of all, the one that starts before you ever even open a spreadsheet. Before we talk about budgets, numbers, or strategies, I need to talk about how you think about money. Because I've learned from experience that you could hand somebody the perfect budget template and they will still fail because the mindset is not there. Here's the mindset shift that changed everything for me. I used to see my paycheck as money to spend. It came and it went, and I had very little say of where my money was going. I was reactive. Once I realized that, I stopped seeing my paycheck as money to spend and started seeing my money as a resource to steward. That word, steward, changed everything because a steward is not an owner. A steward is a manager, and a manager is intentional, responsible, and gives every resource a purpose. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 5 says, "Good planning and hard work leads to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty." Paycheck to paycheck living is hasty. It's reactive. It's month to month survival with no plan or direction. Breaking out of it requires a plan, and a plan requires a shift in how you see your role with money. You are not a passive recipient of your paycheck. You are a manager of it. And the moment that you take that responsibility seriously, everything will change. Here's what that looks like practically. Before your next paycheck hits, I'm talking about before a single dollar comes in, I want you to write down where every single dollar is going to go. Not after it arrives, before it hits your account. That simple act of intentionality is the beginning of the end of paycheck to paycheck living. Step 1. See the full picture. Most people living paycheck to paycheck have never sat down and looked at their entire financial picture. They know roughly of what comes in and they have a vague idea of what goes out. But they've never done the uncomfortable work of putting it all together on a piece of paper at once. That changes today. I want you to do one thing. Pull up your last 2 months of bank statements and write down every single expense. Every grocery run, every fast food run, and every bill, transfer, or transaction. Don't judge it yet. Don't try to fix it. Just observe it. See where your money is going. What you're going to find is one of 2 things, or probably both. First, you're going to find money going towards things that you completely forgot about or don't even care about. Subscriptions that you don't use, habits that you didn't realize were that expensive, or little purchases that add up to a surprisingly large number. Second, you're going to find out that your essential expenses are consuming most of, if not all of, your income, leaving you no margin left for anything else. You cannot solve a problem that you cannot see clearly. And most people living paycheck to paycheck are navigating their finances completely blind. Seeing the full picture, all of it on paper at once, is the very moment that that cycle starts to break. Step 2. Build a bare bones budget. Now I know that the word budget can feel heavy when you're already stretched thin, but I want to reframe it for you. A budget when you're living paycheck to paycheck is not about restriction. It's about triage. It's about finding out what you actually need versus what you've just been spending money on out of habit. Here's how to build a bare bones budget in 4 steps. First, write down your total monthly take-home pay. Not your salary, your actual take-home pay. What's left over after taxes. That's your starting number. Second, list your true essentials only. Housing, utilities, groceries, and I'm talking about groceries from the grocery store, not eating out. Transportation, insurances, and minimum debt payments, and your phone bill. That's it. Nothing else makes this list right now. Third, subtract your essentials from your income. Whatever is left is your margin. Even if it's a small amount, that is your starting point. That's the money that you're going to start working with intentionally instead of just letting it disappear. Fourth, give that margin a job. Even if it's only $50, you could put $20 towards starting your emergency fund and then put $30 towards your smallest debt. The amount is not what matters. What matters is that you are building a habit to be intentional with the margin that you have. Here's the hard truth. If your essentials consume more than your income, you have two options. You either reduce your expenses or you increase your income. There is not a single budget in the world that makes that math work if you are spending more than you make. But at least seeing that clearly on paper tells you exactly what problem you're solving. Luke chapter 14 verse 28 says, "Don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to make sure there is enough money to finish it?" Count the cost. Know your number. Build from truth, not speculation. Step 3. Create one small win this month. Here's why that matters. Living paycheck to paycheck is demoralizing. It grinds you down and makes you feel like no matter what you do, nothing ever changes. And that feeling, if you're not careful, will become your identity. You'll start to identify yourself as, "I'm just bad with money. This is just how my life is." That identity is a lie. And the fastest way to break it is to create evidence that contradicts it. One small win. That's all I'm asking for. Cancel one subscription that you don't use and move that money somewhere intentional. Cook at home for one full week instead of eating out and move that money that you saved towards your debt. Find one bill that you can reduce, your phone bill, insurance, a streaming service, and move that money towards something intentional. Notice the pattern? The win is not just about money. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of making intentional decisions with your money, that you are in control, and that the cycle can be broken. I remember the first month that I ended with $100 still in my bank account. It was not life-changing money, but it was life-changing proof that I could do this, that the financial story I had been telling myself was not the only story possible. That $100 became the foundation of everything that followed it. Your small win this month is the beginning of your extraordinary financial life. Here's what I want you to do before you go to sleep tonight. Write down your take-home pay. Write down your essential expenses. Subtract one from the other. And then, whatever is left, give it a job. Even if it's just $5 or $10, give it a job. That's it. That's your homework. One piece of paper, one honest look, and one intentional decision. You are not stuck. Living paycheck to paycheck is a cycle, and every cycle can be broken. It starts with a mindset shift. One honest look at your numbers, and one small win that proves to yourself that you are capable of more. I believe that for you, and I'm here every week to help you get there. Hit subscribe and join this community for a new video every week on faith, finances, and building wealth with purpose.